Hey guys, hoping you're well. I'm back with the wonderful LB. Hello, LB. Today we're very much going to be talking about relationship dynamics. I'm going to leave the subject to LB to explain what we're going to talk about. So over to you, LB. How have you been?
I've been very well, especially I live in Sarasota, Florida. And of course, as many people might know, we had a terrible hurricane here, the worst in 100 years. So you might be hearing some background noise from the street because they're still picking up all the debris and branches and twigs and fronds, and they're just all over everywhere. But we are all extremely grateful that most of us have not had terrible damage or injuries, at least not in this part. A little bit south of us was where the real damage was, and it's more than damage, it's just devastation. So a little bit of noise and limbs being taken up, it's a blessing. So I just wanted to alert your viewers and listeners that sound might be going on.
Oh, well, that's nothing compared with the things everyone's been going through with flooding and then high winds. We had like tropical rain the other night here, and half of London was underwater, half the streets. So it's been quite crazy and biblical, I think. But
That bad.
yeah, while we're on this planet Earth still, what did you want to talk about today?
Well, today I thought I would talk about what kinds of questions to ask yourself and potentially your date. Key questions that will help you, learn about your date, have your date learn about you. So let's start with that. There's no special order here, but here are things for you to think about, and at your discretion, whether you want to ask your date. That discretionary decision might be affected by, is this your first date? Is this someone you've known for a while and you've wanted to go out on a date with them? Or do you just want to be bold and cut to the chase and stop all this time, talking chit chat and say, it's very nice to meet you, but let's learn about each other. And then you can launch into these questions. It's at your discretion. And it's okay if you feel uncomfortable doing this. All important things that are new are often difficult to do. So let's start with this question. Ask yourself, why did I break up with the person or persons with whom I've ended relationships with? Why did you? Ask yourself, is it something they said? Is it how they treat other people? How they treated me? Those are the questions you want to ask yourself. Other ones are, did we not share the same values? Do we not have the same goals in life as to what we wanted? Those are important questions. Other ones might be, did I not like their table manners and how they treated the wait staff and what kinds of words they used to talk to me? Do they swear a lot? Do I not like that? Other key questions. Were they very late? Did they seem distracted? Could they not look at me? So think about the mechanics of the relationship, those key behaviors, those signs and tells that give you information about the person. Another question to ask yourself is, why did those things that bothered me bother me? Why? Where did that bothersomeness come from? Think about what you learned from your parents and the other caregivers. Were those good things and good messages that you learned, or things that made you think that you didn't like that message so much? For example, I remember a saying that my mother used to say to me: you catch more flies with honey than you do vinegar. Especially in the South. I was raised part of my life in the American South. And honey, it was just so important to come off sweet. It didn't matter what y'all was thinking. You could think anything you wanted, but you have to come off as very sweet and keep your mind and eyes real open. So that was good advice. You know, you learn about people by being kind. Do they reciprocate? Are they critical people? I went on a date once where I had a long skirt on, and my date said to me, "Are you wearing a long skirt to hide the fact that your legs aren't nice?"
Oh, wow. And with
I
that,
thought
you
that was,
said, check, please. And
yeah, that's right. Bye bye. And I said, "Are you asking these kinds of questions and in such a manner because you're a very insecure and frightened person about love?" And
wow.
wow, that set him back. Well, I said, "Have you had really bad love and relationship experiences?" That's what it seems like. And that's what I came back with.
Good. So you did the three kind of clicks across the body, to
Yeah,
respond, right?
exactly. I did that click in my mind. Right. Absolutely. I didn't even think of that gesture. It probably wasn't invented then. But no, and it's your choice. You can say to yourself, this date isn't going to last very long. And you can, look at your watch and go, "Oh no, I've got to take this call. It's my mom or my sister or my daughter."
Mm.
And then make some excuse. Remember, you don't have to stay the whole time if the experience is excruciating. Although, as a little aside, I kind of like the baseball theory of dating. Give a person three strikes unless the behavior was really, really terrible, like the one I just described. Even if there were a good reason, that was a terrible way to start a date.
Yeah, because I wonder how much extra kind of flack or slack rather we have to give people since the lockdown. Everyone's staying at home or like stuck at home. I've heard so much about COVID weight physically. I wonder how much COVID weight people have taken on emotionally and mentally, in not having good manners, social etiquette. I know there's a whole generation on their phones and they say they're going to be so socially inept. It's crazy. So I feel like the old fashioned good manners and being on your front foot when you first meet someone seems to be something of the olden days. What would you say about that? How do we navigate through this? Oh, this is me, deal with it. I couldn't be bothered to dress up. Sorry, I'm 20 minutes late. Don't judge me. What would you say about navigating through that?
I like what you said. You know, do not lose your social etiquette.
Mm,
And if you have a slip up, then be honest and say, "I feel as though I haven't been out in the world in a really long time.
yeah,
So
yeah.
let me do a redo. Can we kind of cut that little film square and we'll move forward again? Let's try a new one." It's okay to do that. It
Mm,
really is.
mm,
And if you have gained weight, you can say, "I'm getting back in shape now. I got too much into being a homebody. I normally go to the gym, but it was closed. It seemed like permanently, and I don't have the right equipment at home." It's okay to do that too. Be
mm.
honest. It's not, being honest is not the same as making excuses, though.
Yeah.
Being honest is saying, "I've had challenges. I've tried to meet the challenge, but I don't want you to make excuses such as, well, that's just me, take me or leave me, and I'm a lazy person anyway."
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a good way to go about it. And how do we make sure that it doesn't sound like an interview when we're checking these things with someone we're first meeting?
Well, that's why I like doing the questions that you'd like to ask and giving your date permission to ask you these questions. So, as I said before, lead in with whatever is comfortable, but it's also a good thing to say to yourself and to your date, "Let me know what I've learned about love from the relationships I've had. And if I'm describing you, or if you've got anything to add, let's just be honest and respectful of each other, and be kind, and give cues and information to the other person as to what you're looking for, because this takes time and we don't want to waste each other's time." So things you might say are, "Here's what I've learned from my past relationships. I've learned that I don't like it when people lie to me. I don't like it when people are critical of me right away and don't get a chance for me to show them otherwise. Maybe they have judged me on one small thing." You also might want to tell the person, ask the person, or let them know what you've learned. "Here's what I've learned from my family of origin, the people who raised me. I've learned that they've taught me things that I'm trying to undo. I'm trying to undo being judgmental. It's in my brain, and I try to get rid of it because I don't like my parents judging me. They, passed judgment on things that I thought were good, but they didn't agree with. So, are you a very judgmental person? Because I'm learning not to be. Be honest. Ask the person questions that you would like answered.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you feel it's okay to ask someone we've only just met, let's say, and we're getting to know why they ended their last relationship or what happened in that last relationship?
Yes. Tell them what you've learned about your past love relationships and ask them what they're willing to share. And you might need to be the person who takes that slightly bigger step because that helps. It can help, I should say, reduce the other person's anxiety of what they can feel comfortable enough saying. So let them know what you haven't liked about some of your dates. You might say, my dates and past relationships have not been open with me. When they're upset or angry, they just steam out of the room, and I don't know what's wrong or what I can do to correct. So I like openness with kindness. Is that something that you can do and also value?
I love that one. And you were saying earlier in one of our videos that the kind of order of things is slightly different now, as in the whole approach. It's almost being more true to yourself. Obviously being on time. I'm a great person for punctuality, and
Yes.
that's, if you're running late and you don't even text, that says a lot. But in this new kind of social norm, how relaxed should someone be, if they kind of ended up at the table like this, or eating with their hands or something? How much slack do we give them for kind of the new way of being relaxed? And this is my authentic self. Don't judge me. What would you say about that? How far can people go?
Well, you shouldn't hide everything, but you're not going on a date in your underwear or bathrobes or hair curlers or curling your hair or food between your teeth or, splatters on your t-shirt. I mean,
Because
you
some people
want to put a
they're dropping their kids off in their pajamas and slippers, at school in the morning. It's like, what are you wearing?
yes, that's absolutely right. Totally right. And we've seen people do that, but you don't want to put on your tuxedo or your glitter gown, right? But put on something that represents you. I mean, I wear fine casual clothes, but if you're comfortable in a t-shirt that says love the world or whatever, and that's how you go out into the world, then do that. Be you, but be a etiquette wise you don't want to sit there picking your ears and and looking in the mirror and you're holding up or looking down all the time. Do I look all right? But sometimes it's fun to do those quirks. At home, I love eating with my fingers. It's just more fun. I don't like knives and forks so much, especially forks, they're sharp. So, I might eat with my fingers if they're little wonton things or little patties that you could eat with your fingers. I would say to someone, I love eating with my fingers. So please excuse me. This is the kind of item that I love eating with my fingers. So be you, but
Yeah.
don't be you, 30 years into the relationship, which I hope people don't slobber up over the years. It's always good to stay in good shape, good form, carefulness, consideration. So there's, look at this like a scale, like a bar. You don't want to be coming to your dates in your worst mood and you forgot to brush your teeth or, comb your hair. But you also don't want to be on the other end where you are not you.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
find that medium, and you will stumble sometimes.
Yeah. And then finally, the question that has been going around for a long, long time, rule number one, don't ever talk about religion or politics. When can we introduce that with someone new in our lives? What do you think?
Well, if it's really important to you, then put it out there. If you feel kind of medium about it, don't do it right away. It depends how important it is to you. And those are things that you should be saying.
Because obviously we live in quite divided times politically, religiously a little bit, but certainly politically here in Europe and where you guys are in the US, you know,
Yes.
oh, you're a
Yes.
Democrat, this isn't going to work. You know, like it seems like it's very heavy for everyone now to be like,
Yes,
well, this is my
it
view,
is.
but don't judge me. I'm still a human being. And I know a lot of people are saying, can't we go beyond that divisive separatism or, you know, dividedness? Isn't it a difficult time to kind of be ourselves and not be judged by our views of where the country needs to go? How do we navigate through that?
Well, you could ask your date, how important is it that we have the same worldviews, whether it's politics or religion or how we regard other people? You know, what of those things are really important to you? Because there are couples who have really different positions on things like politics, and they get along fine.
Yeah.
They just agree to disagree.
Yeah, yeah.
And some people say, no way, I can't do that.
Yeah. They're saying that's almost the only place we can go as a human civilization, just I respect your views and I respect mine, and we can still love each other. That's about the only kind of answer, really, isn't it, for our future as mankind getting on with each other?
Yes.
Mm.
And you just think about, you know, is that really important? Does it change what you do with your partner? Some partners can't bear the thought of watching two different news channels and feeling apart. Some people spend a great deal of feeling of connectedness by watching the same news shows together. So think about that.
Yeah.
You know, how important is it to you and why? What are your life experiences? What has changed you? What have you grown from? What have you changed? Think about that. And that's true about all kinds of things like, do you believe in living together? Do you have a value of marriage? Is that something that's important to you? How would you handle cheating? Is that something that, well, you know, that's just a little mistake and we can get over it, or absolutely not, you're out the door? You know, there's all kinds of things that have that yes, no, and then the gray area.
Yeah.
So those are important things to ask. So remember, when you are with a new person, it's okay to say, what are you looking for? What have you learned about yourself that you need? You know, what mistakes or slip-ups have you done in the past? What have been the good relationships for you and why? And what do you not want to repeat in relationships? That's very, very important. But think about, and this is the final tip, think about how you would act if someone asked you that question. Always remember that people may not think as openly and be as strong as you are. So be very careful and think very, very cautiously before you ask questions.
Please write questions to LB. Guys watching this, please join my Facebook group, Men Talking Openly, and LB's website is lovevictory.com. That's all one word, lovevictory.com. She's got lots of books there that you can read and purchase and see other videos that we've done. We've been doing this now a good year or two. Is it 2 years? 1 year? Yeah. So there's a lot of videos we've done.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely, as always. And thank you guys for watching, and keep writing those questions and going on to lovevictory.com. Men Talking Openly is my Facebook group. I'd like to see more of you there asking questions and contributing, but hopefully today that's given you something to, losing my words, something to think about. And we shall see you soon. LB, stay well. I know you've got some medical things coming up, but hopefully we can reconvene before the end of the year would be nice. And keep doing our videos. I love working with you. It's been so rewarding, and hopefully everyone's gaining something from this.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you very much.
Appreciate you too. Guys, thank you so much. And we'll speak to you and see you soon. Bye-bye.